Preacher Girl, and welcome to the PG Podcast. This is episode number 115, and I am, as usual, excited to be with you here on video or in your ears, in your earbuds. Remember, the Preacher Girl Podcast is available on iTunes and also at Preacher Girl TV on YouTube. So let's get right into this week's episode. You're going to love it. And as usual, I'm bringing you what I need myself. Today's episode is all about how to organize your life. I hear the angels singing because we all have issues. Maybe some of you are clean freaks, maybe some of you are not. And this is not about being untidy, but disorganized. And there's something about productivity that is linked to organization that we're going to talk about today. So I want to ask you, have you seen, and she's going to show up in a minute, there's a little Japanese lady called Marie Kondo. She's on TV, she's on HGTV right now. She has books written. She's very popular. Teeny little petite Asian lady, and she always wears a white shirt and she walks around like this on her tippy toes. And when she comes into your house to help you declutter, she says, "First, we're going to thank the house." And then she kneels down on the floor and she sits like this and she thanks the house for taking care of you. And then all the Americans are like, and they're looking at her like she's weird. Okay, well, that's Marie Kondo, and she's all about decluttering your life, organizing your life, and living more productively with less stuff. So we want to talk about that in a few short minutes and figure out whether there's things in our lives that's hindering the way we organize, hindering our focus, and hindering our progress. So stay tuned. You're going to have a good time. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek into a very, very private part of my life. Some of you have seen it. Some of you have just heard about the infamous closet. This is my closet. I am who it says I am. I can do what it says I can do, and as you can see, it's a mess. Now, it's not always a mess. In fact, 2 weeks ago, it was very organized. At least from the outside, it looked that way. But then, as soon as I try to find something, everything gets messy again. Or if I'm in a rush, I throw things here and throw things there, and then I can't find the eyeliner that I want until I don't want it anymore. In certain areas of our lives, this closet can represent how we act, how we live, and how the stuff around us is. So we're going to go through a few principles, about 3 or 4 of them, that will help us organize our lives, stay focused, and get more out of our day. I have a question. Have you ever gone to bed after a day and thought to yourself, this day was a waste?
Yes.
Like, what did I do? Was there anything of value in this day for me? Like, take a random date, February 17th. Do you know? Can you remember? Some of you are ready to prove me wrong. So you're like, yes, I can remember. It was my birthday. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the average citizen. Yeah. Most days we go to bed feeling like if we didn't get very much done or we hadn't accomplished a lot. And there are some of us that just work ourselves to the bone and still can't figure out what we did of value during the day. Today's podcast is to help us go to bed in the evening feeling like we accomplished what we set out to accomplish and that we had a great and successful day. So the step 1 to organizing your life is declutter. You know it already. Get rid of some of the unnecessary things. Now, I know I already talked to you a few weeks ago about friends and places and things that we do that we can get rid of. I'm not talking about just that. Today, let's talk about our to-do list. If you have a to-do list, lift your hands. Okay, everybody in the studio today lifted their hands because everybody's got a to-do list. Maybe you don't. You say, I have a mental to-do list. Here's a sign. That's not a to-do list. I know that hurt you, but it's true. That's not a to-do list. It's a to-do list if it's visible, if you can see it, if you can write it, and if you can check it off. If it's a list of stuff in your head, that's just thoughts, all right? So a to-do list is always a good idea. And if you're anything like me, when you set out to start a to-do list, there are 20 things on a to-do list every single day. That's a surefire way to go to bed feeling like a complete failure. Because chances are You're not going to get 20 things done. You're not going to get 15 things done. There are only about 18 hours in the day for most of us, and for many of us, only 12. So there are only so many daylight hours in the day when you can get stuff done. Having 20 things on a list is too much. So the first thing you do, like my closet, is declutter. I'm about to do a cleaning in my closet. And when I clean, it doesn't mean sweep and mop. My closet is clean on the floors and everything's neat. It's just not very tidy. Cleaning means getting rid of the stuff that we know we'll never get to. That's good. Get rid of the stuff that you know you'll never get to. Just like that outfit that you're waiting to lose 7 pounds to wear again, you know, those skinny jeans that you know you'll fit in. You're not. And even if you do, get a new pair when that day comes. But now, get rid of it. Give it away. Same thing with your to-do list. If there are tasks in there that do not add value to your life, that are not very significant, you put it in there because you feel like it needs to get done. But really, your life would go on just as it is without it getting done. Cross it off. Leave it off your list. If you get to it, you get to it, but don't put it on your list just to be able to have something to check off. Declutter. So, I hear the question that's bouncing back at me from some of you. Pastor Sharva, when are you going to declutter your closet and can I be there? I would love for all of you who are my size to be there when I declutter, because I really eliminate half of the stuff in here, maybe 3/4 of it, and I need to have people to bless with it. So if you're interested and you're a size 4, I can hook you up. Point number 2, after you declutter, after you get rid of all the unnecessary, the stuff that you'll never go to, then I want you to focus. Now, focus is something we throw around all the time, but I want you to listen. Be intelligent and be intentional. Say it after me. Intelligent and intentional. That's really what focus is. So you're going to focus your whole day, or focus your whole quarter if you're a businesswoman, or if you're a student, if you're you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is, a pastor, a preacher. You want to organize your months, your year, your calendar, but start with just your day and do what is intelligent and do what is intentional, right? Let all of the things, which by the way, your to-do list should contain 3 things. These are the 3 things I need to get done today. And then the second thing is, make sure that when you have those 3 things, they are intentional things and they are intelligent things. That's how you focus. You don't focus by staring very hard or trying very hard at something that doesn't make sense. But when you see something that adds value to your life, that is intelligent and that it's intentional, then you focus in on that thing. And that's how you go to bed feeling like, you know what, this made sense. So let me give you an example. So I write books. That's my thing. I like to write. So if my goal is a chapter today, that is my goal. It's one of the 3 things that I meant to do today. Or if I'm in my PG authors group has 21 authors in it. So my goal is to read 1 chapter from every single author today. If I go to bed tonight having checked that one thing off, I feel like I have accomplished it. You understand? Does that make sense to you? So you put 3 intelligent and intentional things on your list that will push your life forward. Let me ask you this question. If you had to pay yourself, right? Say you had to hire you and pay yourself, how much would you pay you? What do you think your time is worth by the hour? Oh, I see some of you shaking your heads. $1,000 an hour. Heck yeah, nothing less. I hear you. Oh, higher than that. Well, reasonably and intelligently, what are you really worth? And for some of you, you'd say, $30 an hour or $40 an hour. That's what I think I'm worth. Well, is what you are doing right now and spending 4 hours on, right? Is it worth $40 an hour? When I first came to New York and we lived in the Bronx, I used to spend 4 hours doing laundry at the laundromat. It was a miserable and awful time of my life. 4 hours waiting on my clothes to wash and dry and for me to fold them. it was what I used to feel like was the biggest waste of human time I've ever had. And then I started to ask myself, is my time worth that? You know, I could literally pay somebody to wash my clothes for me, end up paying $30 for the bag. Think about it. If I spend 4 hours and value my time at, right now it's a lot more, but back then, say I valued it at $30 an hour. That means I spent $120 worth of my time when I could have paid somebody $30 to do it. You get it? So if you look at it like that, you can see whether what your activity is adding value to your life or draining you of value, and focus on what is intentional and intelligent. So the third thing, I like to call it stop. Stop. Right? So this morning while I was trying to get dressed to come to church, one of my brushes fell on the floor. And if you've been in my closet, I have like 50 brushes. I just reached for another brush instead of bending down to pick up the one that was on the floor, because I thought I would waste the time to stop here when I could just grab something else. And and so then I thought to myself, no, if I do that, that thing's gonna stay on the floor, and then when I'm cleaning, it's one more thing I have to pick up. So I stopped and I picked up the brush and I used the one that fell. Now, I said that to tell you this. If you want to get out of the trap that you're in of being disorganized or having clutter or just having no focus on productivity, then you have to stop what you're doing right now that's killing you. That's causing you to be lifeless, energyless, and focusless, right? So if you're just hitting things one at a time, you're just doing as much as you can, you're saying yes to everybody that's asking for your help, you're stopping what you need to do what everybody else needs you to do, you'll never get your stuff done. You need to stop. Stop. Take a break. Rest is so important, and the Bible is so full of examples of Jesus going away by himself to talk to the Lord. I don't know if this is with everybody, but everybody that I know in my circle, all the authors or preachers that I talk to say the same thing. They say the best ideas they ever had came when they weren't expecting it. It was when they were alone somewhere, when they were resting, when they purposefully stopped working in order to take a break, then the idea to take their work to the next level came. But if you continually push your body without rest, you'll never have a chance for your brain and for your spirit and for your mind to connect with God enough to be able to listen to the brilliant ideas he's giving you. Almost every major ministry at Hope NYC happened in a time of rest for me. All of a sudden at 3 o'clock in the morning, I would wake up and God would be downloading something incredible, like the parade or like Hope in Manhattan or whatever it is that was coming, always came when I didn't sit down to think, what should I do next? It was never at that kind of time. It was always that I need some R&R. I need to go get my nails and hair done, and I need to just sit back and take some time. And I hear you guys protesting right now. I have kids. I have a 9 to 5. I work 4 jobs. Or I hear you. But I want you to ask yourself even now, what would it take for you to take a day off? What would you need to have to put in place in order to get 24 hours to go away with your spouse or go away with forget the kids, to go away by yourself, to get some downtime so that you could relax, refresh, recharge, and then come back to doing your work. And whatever it is, do it. Do it, because if Christ needed the time to get away, you need the time to get away too. The next thing you want to do is reevaluate. Now, this is so my favorite thing, right? So if I were to start organizing my closet, this is what I'll do. I'll put everything in a big pile and then start saying, okay, I want this, I don't want this, I want this, I don't want this. But I'm going to keep this because my mom gave me this. And I'm going to keep this because this friend bought it. And I'm going to keep, and then I end up with just as much stuff as I was trying to get rid of. You can't do that. You have to reevaluate. And in your life, I'm using my closet, but in your life, it may sound like having to say no. And we already did a podcast on how to say no with tact. But by this, I mean also not allowing Facebook and social media to dictate what you need and don't need to do. I know moms who are miserable because there are people on Facebook taking their kids to museums and doing arts and crafts on Saturdays, and all you're trying to do is keep your head above water, and you're like, I'm failing, I'm miserable. I need to set you free for a second. Just because someone else is doing it, it doesn't mean you have to. Don't do it. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do anything you see anybody else doing. You don't even have to do what I'm telling you to do. Right? In fact, all you are responsible for doing is what God has put inside of you to do. So sometimes, just because you see somebody else doing it, don't think you have to live up to that. Don't think you have to act like that. Don't think you have to be like that. You just act with integrity and honesty, and then God is going to bless whatever it is you put your hands to. So reevaluation in my closet looks like this. After I already have my pile of what I love, I go back to it again and say, I love it, but when was the last time I wore it? And if it was more than 6 months ago, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. I obviously don't love it that much, and so that's how reevaluation happens. Even if, you want to do something because somebody else did it, ask yourself, is that going to make me feel happy? Is that going to propel my relationship into success, the lives of my children, my business, my ministry, and whatever it is you're serving in? Is that activity going to push you towards progress, or is it going to just wear you out? And if it's going to enhance what you're called to do, whether it's motherhood, ministry, or entrepreneurship, then do it. But otherwise, say no. The next tip is so typical and so easy, you're not even going to like it, but trust me, if you do it, it's going to help. And it's called schedule your rest. I know. I thought it was stupid too. When I first heard it, I thought, you're crazy. That makes no sense. What are you trying to tell me to do? But there's a multi-billion-dollar industry now based on scheduling your rest. Yeah, there are rest apps, sleep preparation apps. It'll calm you down 15 minutes before you want to go to bed to make sure that you prepare for your sleep. It sounds counterproductive, but I promise you, without a good night's rest, you can't be productive the next day. So I hear a lot of people say, schedule your rest in. Say you're going to sleep 6 hours, you're going to sleep 7, 8. And I mean, anything more than 8 is really too much. You don't even need that for an exam. So you want to schedule your rest and make sure that rest is good rest and that you wake up feeling refreshed in the morning. I'm here to tell you, anything more than that is going to make you more lethargic than energetic. Ooh. You guys know Muhammad Ali, right? You know about him, right? The world famous boxer. He said something very hilarious once. He said, everybody has a plan till they get punched in the face. So this one reporter was like, so do you have a plan for this fight? He's like, everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the face. Girl. And that's the fact. You get up in the morning, you probably have a plan until the day itself punches you in the face, and then you realize your plan goes out the window. Give yourself a break when that happens. When the day does not go the way you planned, you know what? It's all right. Because if Jesus and His grace, you get a do-over first thing in the morning. His mercies are new every day. So rather than crying over the spilled milk of yesterday and wondering how you're going to get by missing out, just understand that tomorrow you get to do this again. Try again, and it's going to be better, and God's going to give you grace that's sufficient for tomorrow. So let's recap everything we talked about today about organizing your life. There's a really amazing book called Free to Focus by Michael Hyatt, and he talks about exactly what we just talked about, but he put it in much better words than I did. And he said that the way to reorganize your life or to get your focus free to focus is to liquidate, which is what we were talking about when we get rid of the clutter, automate, and by him, what he said automate was to be able to say no on a whim, not to have to think too much when people come to ask you things. In fact, he just automated his response. He's a publisher. So when people say, hey, do you mind reading my book? He just has an automatic thing that says, because I'm obligated to do what I'm already committed to, I have to say no. but I look forward to buying your book when it comes out. And that email automatically goes out to people who request his attention. Isn't that something? So it saves him all the time of writing a response, and when they call back in a month, having to say, well, it's still no, or something like that, you know? So he automates so much in his life that he does not have to work at it. Same thing in your case or mine, it might be as easy as dropping your laundry off to a 60 cents a pound service. You know, for some of you, like, I can't afford that $30, but can you really afford the 4 hours? You really have to put the right value on your work and your time. And the next thing he said was delegate. This was one of my favorites, because long ago I used to be one of those people that used to say, if I don't do it myself, it will never get done right. You know, that is not just prideful, that's stupid. That makes no sense, because people who say that, one, put way too much value on their own ability to do a thing, and two, you don't put enough value on your time. So the best way to do it, it may not always be done the way you need it done, but as a Christian, as a discipler, as a follower of Jesus Christ, whatever has been put into you is not for you to keep. It's always to be deposited. So your best way is to teach somebody to do it. And even if they do it, this is something I learned way back in the secular world, being in a marketing industry, the best way to make the most of your time is to find somebody that can do it at least 70% as well as you. And anything above 70% of what you're able to do is good enough, and ultimately becomes better than you do it. Case in point is the way we run Hope NYC. I used to pray, God, send people that can do my job better than I can do it. Because I was leading worship, and even though I enjoyed it, it was not what I was called to do. And then the Lord sent somebody who sings better than I can, and plays better than I can, and does it better. Same thing, when I was the operations officer of the church, I asked for God to send somebody that could do it better, and He did. Or when I was filming my own stuff, I asked God to send somebody that was better at editing video or filming, and He did it. So now, guess what? The organization and the body is richer, better, and stronger, because those jobs that I can do myself has been delegated to people who are better. Genius. And the next thing he said was consolidate. I love consolidation. Consolidation is my favorite way to work the week. So we film the PG podcast on Tuesday evenings. I don't know if you know that, but usually we don't do one episode. We do 2 or 3 episodes at a time. So that way we know Tuesday is for filming, Wednesday is for such and such. Sometimes my guys get down to Monday night at midnight when they're editing, but if we consolidated our weeks in a certain way, we know that Saturday is for editing. By Tuesday, the podcast is in your email and everything's just ready to go. In your life, it may be Monday is for laundry, and Tuesday is for taking the kids to the park in the evening. Wednesday morning is for your, whatever it is that's important to you. If you have a business, like maybe Lois and the earrings, Thursday all day is airing day. That's the way it is. And that kind of consolidation makes sure that one thing does not consume your entire week and your entire life. The next thing he said, and the last thing in his list, was activate. And that's so good. He said, once you've done all of the other things, make sure to hit the 3 things on your list. Forget all the other peripherals and do the 3 things that you put on your list at the beginning of the morning. Right? That's how you activate. So you ask yourself in closing, what are the 3 most important things I need to do today? That's how you start. What are the 3 most important things to do today? Which brings me to our freebie on our giveaway for this week. This week, I would like you to post on the PG Insider group a video of the 3 most important things that you need to get done today, or maybe tomorrow. So it's your to-do list for tomorrow, and just go on there. You can write it down and hold it up and put a picture, or you can just tell us a little bit about it, and we want to hear what you have to say. And that there's a very special prize for the winner of this particular contest. So for posting your video of your 3 daily big things to do, the winner of this particular contest is going to get one of the Mozambique dresses. Yes, I know it's $100. That's how much it was sold for, but you'll get one tailored to fit you just like this one. And I'm going to choose one person to wear it. So I'm excited because not only is it a gorgeous dress and you can wear it anywhere and it's very flattering, but you help support our Kuka project in Mozambique with missionary Celia. So get on the PG Insider community and post your 3 big things that you have to do today. So I hope that today's podcast helped you. I hope it was a blessing to you, and just know that when I clean my closet, yeah, if you want to see what it looks like afterwards, I'll post a picture there for you so you can have a look at it. Please share this video, share it on your Facebook, and if you're not already subscribed on YouTube to the Preacher Girl TV channel, please go there and do that. Help me share the word about what we're doing. If you're enjoying the community, it means some other woman somewhere is going to enjoy it as well, because if God called them, then nobody can uncall them too. I love you. God bless you.